Hi, it's Matthew again. So I've talked to you about base layers. Now I'm going to talk to you about my mid layers. The first one is this. This is a micro fleece by Quechua that I wear a lot when I'm hiking. I've worn this in mountain hikes, coastal hikes, lots of temperate climates, deserts. It's great for all of those conditions, but when it gets wet, it stays wet, and that means that it's too cold to be using in extreme cold conditions, like -20 or the kind of conditions you find in the Arctic. So this has been relegated to the wardrobe and isn't used. This is a pure cashmere jumper, which is excellent for lounging around the house, but I'm worried it's delicate. Whereas the others, whereas the fleece jumper has been worn very often, it's been washed very often, it's quite hard wearing. This I'd be reluctant to wear in a situation where it's going to see anywhere. So this I wear around the house, or I wear it as a layer between my mid layer and my base layer if I'm going on an expedition where I'm sure I'm going to get very cold. So that is the cashmere. This is my jumper. Now wool I find a little bit itchy in terms of pure wool from sheep, but this is an alpaca, a baby alpaca jumper. This is quite thick, so it's a very nice warm insulating mid layer. It's also quite hard wearing and durable, so it can be washed when it starts to get smelly. It's also quite good. Because it's a wool, it's warm when it's wet, so if I get sweaty or if I get wet, for example if I fall into sea ice, this is still going to keep warm, it's still going to be good. On that subject, I have backup mid layers. These are things that I carry with me that I don't wear. This is down. I suspect that it's less hard wearing. I have a very thin one by the Wednesday here. It doesn't have very much weight, but for the weight that it is, it's got great insulating properties. It has a hood which seals around my face, and this makes it quite a warm mid layer. I don't wear this because when that down gets wet, then it stops insulating. So if I'm sweating, I don't want to be wearing this as a mid layer. But it's perfect when I'm going for relatively short hikes and I want to have a backup as emergency equipment. Then I'll wear something like this as a no, I won't wear something like this. I'll pack something like this in a dry bag and take that on the expedition with me. If I'm going on a bigger expedition, then that will stay in the dry bag, but I'll also put in a much thicker mid layer. Now, most people probably wouldn't consider a jacket like this to be a mid layer. It's 900 weight goose down. It's by the North Face, and it's very hard wearing. I tend to wear this here if I'm going out sitting by the fire, or if I'm outside taking some photographs for a short period of time. But it doesn't have a down-filled hood, so it's not warm enough to be considered an outer layer in my opinion. It also rides up at the back. Now, although it has a draw cord to seal it, it does ride up, leaving an exposed layer of skin. So it's not perfect as an outer layer in my opinion. But as a mid layer, it's perfect for conditions where I'm not moving around too much and I'm not likely to get sweaty. So for camp purposes, if I'm sleeping in an ice cave, for example, that jacket would be absolutely ideal. The reason I keep it as an emergency equipment in here is because it's very light, it packs down very small, and it would be excellent to put on if I was to fall into the sea ice and need to replace my clothing. What else do I have in here? Various other bits of emergency replacement clothing. I'd want to have base layers, and I'd want to have spare socks in case I did get wet. So that is my mid layers, and that's the dry bag that I use to keep them in when I'm on a trip.